Hello everyone.
Welcome to
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of
In Response.
A legacy podcast.
I'm Philipp Klein
I'm Daniel.
And I'm Peter Plank.
and we're talking about legacy.
Most of the time.
And today we've got a very, very special guest for you. The Legacy Showcase Challenge winner from last Sunday, Manuel Danninger.
Hello
Yes.
everyone.
So, how are you today, Manuel?
Thanks, I'm fine.
Can you tell us something about the challenge? How did you, how have you chosen the deck, and a little bit of a tournament report. So, was it the first challenge you've won, or have you won several? Or
Yes, it was the first in Legacy. So I played Rack Delver. I guess it is a pretty similar list from the other ones. And most of the time I played the mirror match. I guess it was 11 rounds, and in the 11 rounds I played, I guess, 8 mirror matches.
So how did you prepare for the mirror then?
To be honest, I didn't really prepare for the Legacy Challenge. So I pick a list and it seems fine to me in the meta, and yeah, it looked cool and played it. So I guess
I mean, it looks like a pretty standard list.
yes.
but what I want to know is, if you say you haven't prepared for the challenge, if I'm not mistaken, you need special qualification points for this challenge. Am I right?
Yes, you need 40 qualifier points
And so how did you get them then?
to grind on Magic Online.
You get them with other formats, or are they
Yes.
legacy only?
No, I play every format, like standard. I play modern. Most of the time I play modern, and nowadays I play legacy and choose the Rack Delver list to win the Legacy Showcase Challenge.
Yeah, so
Pretty
congratulations.
awesome. Thanks.
What was the prize pool then?
I guess I get around 700 ticks.
Okay.
Wow, that's not
That's
so
uh,
bad.
pretty
That's
good.
not bad.
Yeah.
It's pretty fine. Yeah, I guess it's $600.
And did you qualify for another event by winning this? Or is this
No.
just...
Only
One
for the showcase qualifier. Yes.
Okay.
So you have another tournament to prepare for?
Yes,
in
I guess
a few
it's
weeks or months?
in August,
Okay.
but I don't know the exact date.
Mhm.
But
Is it also Legacy?
in Legacy? Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You only can play the format in which you qualify.
Mm-hmm.
So Legacy Challenge, you play the Legacy one, and Modern, you play the Modern one.
Okay.
And I guess in the finals there are between 15 and 20 people. So there is another qualifier, but it's not like the showcase.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a 5-round event where you can qualify with 5 wins. So the final one is, I guess, with 20 people.
So what was the incentive to use the qualifying points for the Legacy Showcase Challenge and not for another format?
Yeah, let's say modern.
Yeah, why did you choose our format, if I can say it like that?
Because that was the only day I have time.
Fair enough.
So
That's a
Fair
good
enough.
reason, yeah.
I really would play it every other format because I have so many qualifier points, but I don't have the time
Okay.
to play so many events. So the
okay.
Legacy one was on Sunday evening, so it's a nice time for the Austrian ones.
I mean, I think
Yeah.
it was up to 2 a.m. or 2.
No, I guess
2
it
hours
was
after midnight or
at
something like that.
It starts at 5 o'clock
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Austrian time and ends on 3 in the
Okay.
evening. So
Mhm.
pretty long. Guess 9 hours.
And you started working on Monday.
Yes.
So it was a very, very short rest.
Yes.
That's okay for winning 700 ticks.
I mean, if you get into the top 8, you are qualified. So that means if you play up to midnight, and then you know that you are qualified for the
sure.
qualifier. So it's pretty okay.
So everyone who made top 8 qualified for the finals.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And I think it's rewarding if you play. I think it was 8 rounds event. If you're top 8, that you can get at least some reward.
Yeah.
If the other qualifiers are from winning 5 or going 5-0 in a smaller event.
For sure.
Yeah, winning a showcase challenge is certainly something that a lot of legacy Magic Online players would love to experience. So, what was your feeling when you have won the finals versus the is it Delta list?
I can go to bed.
That's the first one. Yeah, finally can go to bed. And the second thing was nice 700 ticks. So why not?
Nice.
But I guess it's like a RPTQ or it's a PPTQ because in the final event you can qualify for the Players Tour finals and for the mocks, and that's what's all want to do
Yeah, sure.
at Magic Online to qualify for the Magic Online Championship.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why the events are pretty cool.
And was this your biggest accomplishment from a tournament perspective wise, or have you done greater things in the
Also now
also
with
in
paper.
play?
Yeah, we was top 8 at the World Magic Cup 2014 with Team Austria, and that was my personal biggest win. And I got some lost in GPs to the win and ins, and some top 16s and top 32s at GPs.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's few good results.
So,
Let's talk about the list a little bit, I would say, right?
no, I just want to know at first,
Okay.
how did you
Go ahead.
how did you have chosen the deck? I mean, was Rug always your first
Pick.
pick, or did you wanted to play something else at first?
No, at first I wanted to play the Eldrazi one.
The Stompy?
Andreas Stompy or
No,
the
the
big one?
The big one.
Big Eldrazi, yeah.
Big
What
Eldrazi.
I played in other events in Legacy because it's pretty easy to play for me. But then I scroll around in the internet and see some lists what's be good, what's be not really good, and Eldrazi isn't really good at the moment. So I picked up the Rakdelver list, what I really prefer, and I chose that and picked that.
Yeah, it seems many others also chose Rakdelver, as we see in the Mythic game.
I think it's about 30% Rakdelver.
So it was probably a really good choice.
So why is Rakdelver the best Delver version then?
In your opinion, what stands out from Rakdelver?
Let's say compared to, I don't know, Grixis.
No, I wouldn't say Grixis. I would say
Is it
Bug or Blue-Red or
Blue-Red or...
Yeah.
Yeah, because I guess it's the Oko. Oko is a pretty strong card, and also the Tarmogoyf. The Tarmogoyf is also pretty strong in the mirror and against the UR list. So I guess it's also in my opinion, the mirror breaker, because the UR list doesn't have the removal spells for the Goyf.
You can only maybe bounce it.
Yeah,
it's
but it's not a removal, and you play it every turn, and he can handle a 5-6 or maybe 4-5 Goyf.
Yeah, he can't even handle a 3-4.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
Yeah.
It's not boltable, and
I also choose the Delver because you have a good combo matchup This is my opinion pretty important at Magic Online because
combo decks are rampant.
Many players play combo decks.
Yeah, I think in these type of tournaments the combo decks are a little bit less
underrepresented.
Yeah, they are underrepresented in comparison to the leagues. I think in the leagues there are a lot more combo decks because it's much faster to grind with them and to play multiple matches at the same time because you don't have to struggle with the clock. So I think in the challenges they're a little bit less, but combo is well positioned right now.
I guess as we've seen, there was 1, 2, 3 combo decks in the top 8.
Combo deck, it was Omnitel and Doomsday.
Okay, just for the for anyone who hasn't seen the challenge results, the first 3 places were Rakdelver. Then in 4th place we have Doomsday, then Omnitel, then a very very spicy Dreadstill. Then on 7th place Snowco. Is it Snowco or is it?
Yeah, it's
called Snow Miracles here. So.
And then also.
I think it's Snowco. And on 8th place it's Timur Rakdelver again. So we've got 4 Rakdelver in the first top 8.
Yeah.
And then it's very diverse actually.
Yeah, then we have for Kalalom, I think this is an Espervile.
That's Espervile, yeah.
Then Goblins, another Rakdelver, Bakdelver, Espervile, a Mono
Red Painter.
Red Painter. Then
also Elves and
Elves.
And 18th place we've got a Titan Dryad.
Yes. Then Ninjas from Tugores, and 21st is a spicy list. Then
and back to the 24th place, there are also 2 more Rakdelver lists. So certainly a lot of Rakdelver. And Snowco is almost nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
So you said you played
8 times the mirror. So
yeah.
I guess in the 6th round I played against Reanimator, which was I guess a pretty good matchup for the Timur Delver deck. And the 3rd round, who I lost against the Bug Delver. And in the I guess it was the first top 8 match. It was against the Azorius Standstill deck that I also won, but it was a pretty tough one because I don't know his list. He plays the 12-12 artifact creature.
The Phyrexian Rat.
Yes, the Phyrexian one. And attacked with the Tarmogoyf, and he immediately flipped it and jumped into the 12-12. But not so awesome, but did manage that.
Yeah.
So
you bounce back.
Yeah,
the match.
For sure.
Okay, let's talk about a list.
Yeah.
I think we have it here. So you're playing the 19 lands. The 4 Delver, 3 Dreadhorde Arcanist, 2 Hooting Mandrills, 3 Tarmogoyf. Then for sure the Brainstorms and Ponders, 1 Preordain as cantrips, 4 Lightning Bolts, 4 Force of Will, 2 Force of Negation, 4 Days, 2 Spell Pierce, and a single Chain Lightning, which will come back later, 3 Oko Thief of Crowns, and in the sideboard we've got 2 Abrade, 1 Grafdigger's Cage, 1 Clothfist God of Destiny, 1 Nullrod, 2 Pyroblast, 1 Red Elemental Blast, 1 Rough Tumble, 1 Submerge, 2 Surgical Extraction, 1 Sylvan Library, and 2 Winter Orb. So, what did you like and what did what did you not like about your list?
So we can start with the card I didn't like. It's the 1 Chain Lightning in the main deck, but we can discuss this later. I guess it's a pretty long discussion.
Yeah,
that's okay.
So
yeah, why don't you like the card?
Because I don't think you need it.
Okay.
It's sorcery speed, and in the mirror match, the opponent have the option to redirect the chain lightning. So maybe I want to add one more creature, maybe, or some other kind of spell.
Yeah,
like Brazen Borrower we speaking. But I guess you need to test it because all other lists play the chain lightning. So I added 2.
Lists 1, 2, and 3 from the style and Trios also played the one of chain lightning.
Yeah.
With various threat options, but this was common between all lists.
Actually, I can understand the
chain
lightning, because back when I played Death and Taxes, I had a Path to Exile in the sideboard because sometimes you just wanted to have the 5th removal spell, or like in this case with Ragdelver, sometimes you think you need the 5th burn spell just to burn your opponent out. I'm not a Delver expert. by far, I've only played mono blue Delver, which is a very very fun deck. Yeah, but I can see why you would want the chain lightning in the main board. It's still the second best burn spell ever printed.
Yeah, and I think it's if you look at the old blue-red Delver lists with when Dreadhorde Arcanist became first legal, I think the list, if you remember correctly, played 2 chain lightnings.
Yeah.
And prior to Dreadhorde Arcanists, there were only the 4 lightning bolts as burn spells. So I think I see the comparison to the old lists, and I think the 1 chain lightning is just another, maybe a relic from the list. But I think it's just, as Philipp said, it's another burn spell you can use to close out the game, because something that Delver always struggled with the bug version was to close out games if the games go long, because you don't have some hasty dudes. You need the burn spells. You need the lightning bolts to top deck with Ragdelver or blue-red Delver, and this is no option for bug Delver. So I think it's good to have a 5th removal spell, and it's just something because you have the chain lightning. When the opponent plays something like surgical extraction, you have another piece of burn in the deck that is not removed. Even in this case, it's really really minor.
But I guess the chain lightning is in the deck, in my opinion, to keep the board clean from small creatures.
To attack with Arcanist.
Yeah, but I guess against bigger creatures like the 5/5 from the Bug Delver.
The Gormag Angler.
The Gormag Angler, the chain lightning does nothing.
So
the Brazen Borrower, when you change the chain lightning to Brazen Borrower in the main deck, you can
bounce it.
You can bounce it, and maybe you can win matchups when you bounce the 5/5 where you got the chain lightning, you can't win.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion, why maybe the Brazen Borrower or something else, maybe Vapor Snake is better than the chain lightning.
Okay, I can see that,
Yeah, I mean, about the Gormag Angler, if you have the burn spell in hand, you can burn the Gormag Angler and then attack with the Arcanist, and with that you burn the Gormag Angler.
Yeah, sure, but
it's
that depends on the
board state and everything else.
And the Brazen Borrower is a threat too.
And it's
What's
more
flying?
versatile.
Yeah. Also, it's great against depth. So
Yeah.
having a main deck answer versus Martial Arch is certainly not a bad place to be.
Yeah, I guess he has the Oko, but
Oka's still sorcery speed.
Yeah,
so
sure.
yeah.
But the Brazen Borrower, as you said, against the 2020 token, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So another change, what I would make is maybe to cut 1 fetch land for an island.
Yeah.
Like in this meta, there
That's
are so
almost
many,
heresy here. I can smell it.
Yeah.
I mean, the style who lost in the finals to you played it, and Yeah, let's talk about the matches you had against him.
Yeah, I guess I played against him in the Swiss rounds, and every time he turned one fetches on a island, a basic island. My wastelands are pretty busted in hand, but are pretty good at turn one, but the snow covered island turn one pretty fucked me.
It really got you, I think, yeah.
It's pretty good.
Back since before Renan 6 was printed, I always thought that you needed a... No, it was in the Defred era, I think. Back when Defred was legal.
Yeah.
I discussed with a friend of mine, a friend of us actually, with Andy, who played Rakdelva during that time, how to make this deck better. And we also discussed the one-off island for the Hydroblast, because also Red Prison was very rampant because of Jackpile.
Yeah.
And you often just lose to a turn 1 Blood Moon if you don't have anything. And so you can still fetch for
a
basic and have the Hydroblast for the Blood Moon, and then just play your lands as given. So I can certainly see that change, and it's probably a really, really good meta call to play this one-off island over the Nen fetch. Yeah,
maybe it's also time to adapt as a Rakdelva player and play the island, and maybe it becomes common and everyone has to play it, and it shouldn't depend on the meta to play, because I mean, if Delva and Wasteland is underwhelming and Days Wasteland as a deck is not good in the meta, you maybe can cut the island then. Yeah. But as long as Rakdelva is good in the meta,
in the mirror
the mirror island is one of the best cards you can play, because it's good against Wasteland.
Yeah,
so I think that would be a really, really good change.
So what did you like then about the list? These were two changes you would make, if you can.
I mean, we discussed that you don't like the chain lightning, or you want the basic island, but what are pieces you maybe want now in the main board? I mean, you said the Brazen Borer is...
Yeah, I want the Brazen Borer in the main deck. I guess you need it against some decks like the
depth
deck
matchup, yeah.
I guess to have one answer against this, it's pretty good.
Yeah, the good thing is it isn't dead against other decks.
Yeah,
because it's still a good tempo card.
Yeah, that's right. Because it's a tempo card, 3/1 flyer.
Yeah.
With flash.
With flash, yeah. And I guess in the main deck I would change something else.
Okay.
Yeah. What I personally really like about your list are the 2 spell pierce.
Yeah, these are really good in the meta right now.
Yeah, I think they, besides Dreadhorde Arcanist, they hit Oko, they hit just so many things. They hit the 3-mana Teferi. They hit all the combo pieces like Doomsday, or just so many things.
Another cool thing what you can do with the spell pierce is to counter the front side of a Brazen Borer.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't go into the exile, and you counter the effective both sides. Yeah. And this is really, really good. And I think I've seen one list, I think the number 3 Rakdelva list played spell snares instead of the spell piercers, and I think these are just relics of the past. I think it was right in the Renan 6 area to play spell snare over spell pierce, but I think at the later periods it was not true, because you wanted to hit with the 1-mana counter spell also Oko.
Yeah.
Because then was the tag team between Renan 6 and Oko, and I think you had to hit both. So I mean, maybe you want to hit in the mirror Tarmogoyf. I see that, but I think Oko is just too good. I mean, you hit Tarmogoyf and Dreadhorde Arcanist, but
that's about it.
That's about it.
And you don't hit the Oko
Yeah, and the spell pierce can hit the counter spells, the brainstorms. You hit so many pieces. The lethal bolt or something like that. It does so much.
Yeah, it's much more relevant in Legacy in general.
You can do much more. And how did you like the Clothes? I think you bought it in the Rock Mirror.
Yes.
Yeah.
I guess I bought it in against every matchup I played.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I played the mirrors. I played against Buck Delver. Darius the Clot is pretty good because he got the Baleful Strix and the Clot is drain every turn. And I also bought it in against the Standstill deck and also against the Reanimator deck. Maybe it's too slow, but I guess if you counter the first one, the Glotis maybe can excel something.
Yeah. And I mean, it isn't. I think there are cards in the deck that are more dead than Clothes in the matchup.
Yeah, it depends what you can bring in.
I mean, you bought in the Grafdigger's Cage, you bought in the Surgicals.
I mean, Clothes alone is surely not enough against the deck.
Yeah,
but
you have the 2 Force of Negation
with
and the
additional
4
hate.
can be
and there are so many cards you don't want against these matchups. So I guess
Oko is just way too slow.
Yeah.
And I think there is Clothes. It's just the same with how's it called, the Green Disenchanted can excel something.
Yeah,
Return to nature.
Return to nature.
Yeah.
I mean, it isn't fast, but sometimes it's just enough. And
yeah, for sure. And it's another answer to his graveyard.
Yeah.
And it's a threat. It pressures its
for
life total, or it accelerates you another threat into the board.
Exactly.
Yeah, for me, Clothes is more of a mid-range
Yeah,
style card.
Definitely.
So,
but it's really strong.
I would also board it in versus Reanimator probably if I have enough to board out.
Yeah.
I mean,
but for me, it's not really graveyard hate. It's a piece of
threat.
Yeah,
it's a threat.
It's a threat, and
that does maybe something.
Yeah.
For me, it's more like a Sylvan Library.
Yeah, type of card.
Yeah.
It is resilient and slow,
and it accrues card advantage over time, and
constant and reliable.
Yeah, but it's really often you counter his turn 1 reanimate spell, and then he sucks on lands or sucks on something, and the creature is in his graveyard, and you play the turn 3 Glotis, turn 4 exile his creature, and win the game. So
it can
pretty
certainly
often.
be enough, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just a 4th piece you can draw into, and I think you have enough disruption to support the turn 3. I mean, if it does go off on turn 1 and you have no Force of Will or Force of Negation, then
sure you lose.
But I think if you have a spell pierce to protect on turn 2, you should get the W.
Yeah, sure.
And then Clothes will win on turn 4 effective.
Actually, now when I see the list with 8, 10, 12 counter spells, and 2 surgicals, a Clothes, a cage out of the side,
it should be a win.
It seems like a good matchup, yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty tough for the reanimator one, but
actually,
the clock is also not that bad.
Yeah. You with Reanimator, I made the so what's it called?
A tournament.
No, not tournament. When I played Reanimator, I always felt that I simply couldn't win through 3 pieces of disruption. It doesn't matter if there's a counter or hate or something, but if you can win through 1, you can also win through 2, but you simply couldn't win through 3, and so many counters and so many hate is just probably enough for the Clothes to seal the deal.
Yeah. Yeah, and another thing is it's just a Delver deck, so you naturally have something like one threat and one or two counter pieces, or one counter piece and one hate piece in the starting hand, and with that, it's really really hard to win. And even if he wins in game 2 on the play, you win definitely in game 3. I mean,
would you change anything in the sideboard?
Yeah, maybe want to cut one window up.
Okay.
Maybe for a second submerge.
But what if Snooker decks would rise again?
Yeah, if they rise, maybe you can let the 2 winter orbs, but in my opinion, a bad matchup can be better. So why you want to make a bad matchup better?
If you lose, then the other are really good matchups.
Yeah, you lose then against maybe probably other good matchups where you can have the one sideboard slot for. And I guess you lose against the Snoko or band control anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I think I can see is to upend the counts of the Clovis, because I think Clovis is I think you could play 2.
I think I would play a lot of library over, but I'm not sure.
Because Clovis is just really really good in the matchup, because he deals with the Uro if the opponent can't reanimate it.
Yeah.
And it's just a threat they can't deal with, because nobody plays. I think the only deck that plays Constant Judgment is Death in Texas, and this deck isn't really seen anymore.
Yeah, and Snowco is too slow.
And Snowco is too slow.
Yeah.
And if you jump away on the graveyard, it's really really hard to reanimate the Uro.
Also, the live stream from Clough is
the live training
really
is really hard
strong. Yeah.
And if you deal with their Okos with Pyroblast or something like that, and you can ride the Clovis to the win, it should be easy. And if you connect once or twice with the Delve of Secrets, the life total is pretty low. I mean, they gain a lot of life via Oko or maybe Uro, but they can't reanimate Uro because you have resolved the Clovis. And because of his indestructibility, and he won't be a creature, because I think he needs. Does he need 5 or 6?
7, I think.
7.
It's 7.
7. So you need Okos, Tarmogoyfs, Hooting Mandrills, and Dreadful Arcanists. I mean, you need 5 other.
Yeah.
But it's like one Oko and 2 Goyfs and 1 Hooting Mandrills.
It's possible, but pretty unlikely.
Yeah. And I think then, if you have that kind of board presence, you have already
very far ahead. And also Snowcoat just has the 1/1 clock, so the clock could be
unless
enough.
They have Goro,
But I think the Snowco matchup is really really hard to play and to evaluate.
Yeah.
I mean, you definitely lose the long game, because Delvar is a worse card in the long game to draw than an Uro or something like that. But yeah, maybe you can go a little bit under it and then have the sustainability to win a game on average. But I think this will always be a really really tough matchup to play, and it should be pretty even. Something like, I think nowadays you are like 40 to 60% with Delvar against Snowco. It's not a 20-80% matchup, but I think you maybe can go with the right side, put up to 50-50 without losing too much on the other.
Yeah, but I guess the second winter up doesn't make the matchup 50-50.
Nah, definitely not. Yeah.
I mean, it slows down the Urus, but that does Clovis too, and he pressures the life total.
Yeah.
Speaking of Euro, what do you think about trying Uro in Rakdelver?
I guess we need to try it, but I guess there's some space to test it, to add one additional land and cut one spell for 1 Uro maybe. I guess 2 too much.
It's too much, yeah.
I would think you would. The mandrills.
The mandrills are the problem.
You need to cut
mandrills.
maybe both mandrills.
Maybe
for one
fourth,
Uro and for Tamagotchi.
Yeah, then it's still a problem if Dreaded Arcanist does excel too much.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, as we talked before recording the episode, Dreaded Arcanist is a big lightning rod for Delver decks nowadays. So maybe he doesn't even. I mean, you said I think you didn't get
in the 12 matches. I didn't cast a card with the Dreaded Arcanist. So
it just got immediately nuked.
Yeah.
so maybe playing Uro with Arcanist isn't a problem. So yeah, it's definitely something that needs to be evaluated and tested out.
Sure.
But
maybe the bigger problem is to get 4 mana.
Yeah.
So it's tough against the mirror with Wasteland.
Yeah.
So maybe you need to play a second basic, and then it's a problem with days. Because you bounce your lands. So yeah, you need to try it. So maybe
it could be a sideboard card or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was in Miracles or in the early days of the Band Control after the printing of Oko and Uro that you played one additional land in the sideboard, something like that you play like the basic snow-covered forest in the sideboard and 2 Uros or something like that, and against slower matchups you board it in.
Yeah.
So maybe it's something like that you
actually
need.
Yeah, I would just try it because rules are there to be broken, and
I think there is one month to the finals, so maybe
you could test it out there.
Yeah, I could test it and maybe
you crush the meta with a sick Rack Delver list with Uro.
Yeah, probably. Could happen.
Could happen
before.
So yeah, there's definitely some space to evaluate with lists, and because not every piece has its own place.
Yeah.
And not everything, but a lot of pieces can be changed. I mean, forces, brainstorm, ponders, Delvers can't be changed in the Delver list, but maybe something different.
I think we've talked enough about the list. Were there some interesting plays you did during the tournament, or some interesting plays your opponent made? Yeah. Something that sticked in your mind and really got you off guard?
I guess it was in the quarterfinals. My opponent plays Wasteland on my only land, and I played in response Lightning Bolt and
daze
my land.
That's nice.
Opponent, was a pretty good one.
That's a nice play. Yeah.
So, but the other plays are pretty similar.
Have you turn one Delver, flip it, and turn it sideways, basically?
I guess I flipped the Delver one time, turn 1, because I played the Brainstorm.
And then it
in my upkeep.
Wow.
But otherwise the Delver doesn't flip.
Wow. You still usually if you win such an event, it means that you had
really good Delver luck.
Good Delver luck, yeah.
Enough blind flips.
But I guess the best cards, or the best card in this deck who wins a lot of matches was the Oko and the Goif.
Mm-hmm.
What in my opinion are the best cards in this deck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, the Dreaded Arcanist is normally in Delver decks the best, but it's a lightning rod, so he
doesn't feel like it.
It doesn't feel like it, but if you can attack once or even twice with the card, it's...
You're just too far ahead. Your opponent will probably never come back.
Yeah.
But as a lightning rod, it's perfectly fine. So, yeah. I mean, Goif and Oko are just really, really good Magic cards throughout. I mean, not throughout Magic history, but Goif definitely throughout
for
history.
Sure, in the mirror matches, when the Oko resolves, it's pretty hard.
Yeah, to come back.
Yeah, to come back for him.
I mean, you need the Pyroblast. to deal
Yeah,
with
sure,
it.
after boarding, but
After boarding, but pre-board the Oko
he
just
can,
wins.
yeah,
He does way too much. Definitely, because every creature your opponent plays is smaller than Tarmogoyf.
yeah, the same as Goyf, yeah.
Because Goyf is normally like a 4/5 or something like that in the matchup, or even a 5/6,
Yeah.
or 4/5. I think you get land, creature, instant,
With,
sorcery.
with the Oku, you can of course get
With the
5, 6.
With the Oko, but yeah, you need to counter a planeswalker or an artifact.
Sure, but
think
it's
it's-
big enough.
Yeah, 4/5 is
It's
bigger than a
enough.
3/3.
bigger than the Mandrills also.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bigger than the mandrills. It's definitely a
It's the
good
biggest
point.
creature.
And have you felt that the mandrills and Tarmogoyf split hindered the two cards? Because it was a long time ago a real number to play mandrills and Tarmogoyfs in
Yeah.
the same list
Yeah,
because
but-
of the Delph clause.
Of the parasitic nature.
Yeah.
I think not, because your opponent also has a graveyard.
Yeah.
What grows the Tarmogoyf. So, and the tendrils, the mandrills, sorry.
Next episode on In Response, Rakdelver with 10 rows of agony.
You play so many fetchlands and wastelands
Yeah.
that fill your graveyard that you excel with the mandrills.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think to playing both in the deck is the right one.
Yeah.
I mean,
But
I think this was in the time too where maybe Death Red was still legal.
Okay,
With
yeah.
that, the graveyard was
A little bit smaller. Or
a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
But I guess I
about
like
one
the split with
per turn.
three Goyf, 2 mandrills.
Yeah.
Maybe you can add the 4th Goyf
For the
for
instead of the third Oko.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it's
But the Oko,
I think Oko is stronger than the
Yeah.
fourth Goyf, so
yeah.
I would
I mean,
stick with
Oko,
the 3 Okos.
if you say Oko a resolved Oko wins the game in the mirror, and you have like in this meta game 30% Rakdelver in the top
Yeah,
20,
you need to-
32
to play 3 Okos.
definitely. But yeah, maybe the Goyf, but I think 3 Okos is really good to go.
Yeah, it really depends on the meta game. So
Yeah.
So, now we've winning the showcase challenge, and you're qualifying for the next big step of the
The qualification schedule to the max.
Yeah, to the max. How do you? Which deck do you see yourself preparing and playing until then? Do you want to change the archetype, or do you stick with Rakdelver?
Or wait 2 weeks and see what the meta does.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
I guess that's one reason to wait until 2 weeks before they went to see how the meta is shifted. But I guess it depends on the Rakdelver or on the Bakdelver list. If Rakdelver is heavily played, like in this event, I want to change to Bakdelver
Okay.
because it is a much better matchup.
Yeah. Baleful Strix is
Baleful
just a
Strix,
big
you
thing.
have
And
the
Gurmag
Gurmag
Angler.
Angler, and you have Abrupt Decay, what is pretty strong.
You also have the
Against-
Okos.
Yeah,
push.
you have the Okos, you have all the cards, but in better versions.
yeah.
Black, you got...
Yeah, you don't have to reach, that's the only
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You only lose the lightning bolts.
And the
or-
chain lightning.
And, but you get Abrupt Decay, what is better against the counter matchups. You got Fatal Push, what is better against the Tarmogoyf matchups.
But you lose the Clothis on the sideboard.
Yeah, and you lose the Dreaded Arcanists.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure, yeah.
But as we said, the Dreaded Arcanist
Is a
dies,
lightning rod.
Yeah,
It dies to
to
literally
everything.
everything.
Yeah.
But if he stays, I mean,
it's a
I mean-
1-3, and we say it dies to everything.
Yeah.
I mean, back then we said that for 2 1s or 3 1s that literally dies to breeze, but now we've got a 1-3 that dies to everything.
I mean, we have push, we have bolt, we have swords.
Yeah, you need to.
You need to
remove him as soon as possible.
Yeah.
It will take over the game for sure. But it's just so crazy in my mind if I think of it.
Yeah, it's just dead.
So if you're now waiting the next 2 weeks and don't decide on a specific deck or a specific archetype, will you just play a commander or EDH then?
No, I don't really like EDH because it's a don't really funny format. It really sucks. In my opinion. So I don't know what you said, guys.
No, I really love EDH. No, it's the same for me. I don't really like EDH. I don't like a political aspect in a competitive card game. So, yeah.
Actually, I also can't see myself playing 100 cards. I play with double sleeved with hard sleeves, and yeah, I've got big hands. but my 60 card deck is almost as high as a
100
as a commander now. And if I double sleeve a commander deck, I be the second person to shuffle my deck. So
I mean, I play triple sleeved legacy decks.
Nice.
You're kind of a freak.
Or like the quadruple sleeve deck from this Daniel Wong. Taking turns.
The taking turns deck, yeah. but that's a piece of art.
Yeah,
Actually, that's a piece of art.
But imagine EDH deck with quadruple sleeves.
Oh my god. I just don't want to
Imagine Battle of Wits with quadruple sleeve.
Nah, but actually, I just don't like the nature of Commander.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just the 100 cards. It's the it's forced casual. So if you don't you can't play a fully optimized version without being hated out. That's my understanding of it, and I would play always a fully optimized version.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that you have to do in Commander to enjoy it, I think, is to play combo decks that win on turn 1, 2, or 3 maybe. But if you do that every time, your opponents will now play only counterspell decks or hate decks against you, and then you don't have any fun either. Because if you win on turn 1, 2, or 3, the other 3 guys don't have any fun.
Yeah. Because fun is a zero-sum game. It's the same in Legacy.
I mean, it's just I think a game that would everyone enjoy if everyone plays the 6-mana 6/6 trampler that was reprinted in every standard episode.
Colossal Dreadmaw.
If you are the type of
best
timid
creature
player that plays Colossal Dreadmaw in a competitive card game, then you enjoy Commander. But
probably.
But not in any other way. So we got our point. EDH, we don't like it. Okay.
So back to Legacy, back to a more relevant format for us. Do you see anything wrong with the meta or with the format now? Do you think Legacy is in a healthy state, it's in a good state, it's in a fun state, or do we need any bannings? Or do we just think we need some unbans? I don't know. Have you thought about something like that?
As I said before, I don't play much Legacy.
Then you should change that, yeah?
But I guess...
Maybe Rakdelva is too strong.
I mean, we have 30% Rakdelva, and I think...
But it's just that one challenge, yeah.
But I think in the first few, the meta game is pretty balanced. Now.
Yeah, I think it's a good cycle now. We have fast combo in the meta. We have various brewer decks.
Brewer decks, yeah.
Yeah, if you look at the challenge on that one on I think Saturday, It's from Draco Firewing, a fellow painters brewer, and he won with Blue Red Painter the challenge. This is a really wild deck.
Okay, I see it.
If you look at the artifact count, it's 1 Lines of Diamond, 1 Lotus Petal, 1 Vicious Bauble, 1 Mox Diamond, 2 Mox Opal, 1 Urza's Bauble, 2 Arcum's Astrolabe, 3 Grindstone, 1 Soul Guide Lantern, 1 Ensnaring Bridge, and 1 Bowler Citadel. It's a
my god, that's spicy.
It's I think on Reddit they counted it as ultra spice, even though it won a challenge. I mean, it's really
it's
spicy.
Not even full spice, it's ultra spice.
And
it's California Reaper hot.
And yeah, it's just an amazing accomplishment from him. The list is really wild.
I love it.
It's a beauty of a kind, and if we see such decks winning a big tournament like a challenge, and I mean big, I think this is the challenge with at least 32 people in it, and it went 5-1 in Swiss and then won the challenge, so it went 8-1, and I think this is really good that spicy decks can do that. And I mean, for most of the Legacy players, Legacy is not really the ultra competitive format to play. Most of these guys are playing standard or limited, I think, because they prepare for the Pro Tour.
Yeah, if you want to be a pro, then
you have to
certainly standard and limited. Yeah.
And if such brewers like Draco can win with such various lists and brewer lists, it's a really good sign for the format. That means that you can be competitive with whatever you are comfortable playing with and whatever you can do. And I think that's good for the format as a whole. That shows that no deck is way too prevalent in the format. Maybe the best deck is weak against blue-red wild painter.
Yeah, the only thing I can see is without any incentive to play for the high stakes for the ultra competitive versions, people will often just register what they deem fun.
Yeah, definitely.
And so I think that at the moment in the Legacy meta, it's not really skewed towards competitiveness. It's more skewed towards fun. And I think that's why we aren't seeing as much Rakdelver in the leagues, or as much Snowco in the leagues.
Yeah, I think in the leagues there are a lot of grinders that play reanimated versions or something like that, or depth versions, because they are fast decks to grind with. And if you're good with it and go 4-1 nearly every league, you can get a lot of money with it. And if you double, triple or quadruple Q, it's amazing. I mean, it's not as much as the poker players back in the days.
Nah, for sure not. But
they played 16 tables at the same time.
Oh god.
But yeah, I think it's a healthy metagame now. I mean, there are a few unfun cards to play against, but I think 1 point in unfun cards are something like Grizzlebrand or something like that, and I think we will get used to playing against Oku.
Probably. I still don't like it, but we will see how the meta shifts, how the meta evolves, and we'll see if it sticks.
Yeah, and one thing is that nowadays it's in the last few printing, it's not like the big cards like Oko or something like that, or Uro or Arcum's Astrolabe that shaped the meta really big. It's some small things like Elder Shepherd, which with Nathan Liepetz, I think went undefeated in the Swiss rounds in the challenge and
went fifth, I think.
I think he lost in the quarterfinals in the top 8, but he played it in Elves, which is an upgrade to an existing archetype, which I really like, or something like Storming Entity, which now has the mono blue version of Delva coming out of the dark, or improving existing Blue-Red Delver lists, or Blue-Red Delver experimenting with it. Maybe Blue-Red Delver goes back to the list they played before. Yeah. It's just the same thing like who was the 1-mana 1/1 flyer that could become a 4/4 flyer.
Terramander.
Yeah, it's just experimenting with a new card, and I really
I really like that. It's great. Also, experimenting with entity is really cool.
And Ethereal Forager, it's just
Ethereal Forager is also very great. I played the Mono Blue Delver list from Nathan Lippert.
Yeah.
I think he played it also in the challenge.
I think he played it in the challenge, but didn't went that far. I think he had a 2/2 and fall out of the challenge. Something like that. I think he won. He went 5-0 in the first 2 leagues. He went 10-0.
10-0, yeah. And I tried it in the Friday Night Magic tournament, and I went 3-1, and it was a hell of a blast to play. So it's really fun. Ethereal Forager is really, really good. Makes a really, really good Dreadhorde Arcanist impression.
Yeah.
Certainly not as strong as the Arcanist, but it fills the same role. And Entity can be a really, really strong threat.
Yeah.
So you've got a very
you get a
threat heavy mono blue list, and it's certainly something new and something nice. And I also think when there's so many new decks being brewed in the format, that's a sign that it's probably healthy.
Yeah, definitely. And I think this is good.
That's a good wrap up for our episode today.
Today we are not forgetting the links.
We're not forgetting our links and our Twitter handles. So you can reach out to us on Twitter @response_a_legacy. You can find me on Twitter @PhinekMTG. That's PHINEKMTG. And for my co-hosts, you can find them on Twitter
@FlyingDelver.
And for me @Unicorn Lord with the O in the Lord is 0.
And of course, thank you for Manuel for joining us.
Yeah, thanks.
You are
you
our
also
first guest.
You also stream.
And you're our first guest, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
you can add me on Twitch on Manuel_Danninger on Twitch. So
we will also, of course, put the link in the description of the episode. Where you can find the stream.
And I think wrap it up here. Thanks for coming to our episode, and
see you.
Any last words? See you.
Thank you.
We thank you. And in response, the end.